And we're live. Flat Earther David Weiss has kindly taken the time to join me on the On the Edge with Andrew Gold podcast. I'm Andrew Gold, and I'm here to try to debunk flat Earth theory. I categorically do not believe in it. Perhaps David can change my mind today. This is a sort of part two to the debate we had with Professor Dave Explains a year or two ago and Sean Atwood. We're going to try and make this a bit... Well, that one got a bit out of hand. And let's hope it doesn't get as crazy and out of hand today. Please hit the like if you do enjoy this. But everyone in the chat, be pleasant to each other. Just because we have different beliefs does not mean we are enemies. David Weiss, let's start with this. How sure are you out of 10 that the Earth is flat?
I'll word it this way, and then I'll tell you that I'm a 10. But I am a 10 sure that it's not a spinning ball flying through a scientifically impossible space void that breaks every law of thermodynamics and physics. And so is the Earth flat? Well, flat's not a shape. Flat is a description of level and horizontal. And I believe that we are level and horizontal, and that all perpendiculars are horizontal all perpendiculars are perpendicular to horizontal. There you go.
Right.
All verticals, sorry. All verticals. See, there I go. All verticals are perpendicular to horizontal. So yes, Earth is flat, 100%.
Okay, because you started by saying you're not 100% that it's flat. You're 100% that it's not spherical.
Well, it's easier, but I don't know what this world is. I can look at the empirical evidence and the physical evidence, and everything says it's stationary. Every test that's done for axial rotation has proved the opposite. Every test that has done the proof for curvature has proven the opposite. Right? On the observations on a flat Earth is we see the sun, moon, and stars rise in the east, set in the west, and we feel like we're stationary. The point of the globers are, hey, it may feel that way, but the Earth is trying to trick you. We're actually spinning, and they're staying still relative to us, which is nonsense.
So are you 100% that the Earth is flat?
100%.
Okay. What would it take to bring you down to 99%?
Yeah, well, you can take me all the way down to zero. Is show me axial rotation, show me curvature, proven curvature. Show me high pressure next to zero pressure or low pressure without a physical barrier, right? When we talk about the Earth is a globe surrounded by water, surrounded by air, adjacent to a void of space, and then the globers say, "Well, gravity's holding the air down." We can get into that whenever you want.
Okay, interesting. What about those videos? You say, show me the curvature of the Earth. What about those videos? You've seen them, not just NASA, and because I can understand why people would not want to believe the corporations and stuff, and nor should they. What about the videos of YouTubers who put balloons up into the air and the video gets out into space and you can just see that the Earth is quite clearly curved?
Well, if you've heard of a fisheye lens, you look at those videos, watch the video before they even take off, and it shows the same curvature. Right? When you don't use a fisheye lens, you can see that the Earth is stationary, that the sun is local, creating a local hotspot. If the sun was 93 million miles away, it would evenly light up the whole Earth. Right? The sun is right here. Don't ask me what it is. Don't ask me how far it is, because I don't know. I'm not making those claims. The globers are making claims that it's 93 million miles away, and that's provably impossible.
Okay. What about boats on the horizon? Because you see them, if it was flat, and by the way, I'm aware, you know what, there's something I should say actually with this. Firstly, I'm no expert about this, so this isn't going to be, as David's been telling me off air, this is going to be very easy for him because he's an expert in this. This is David's life and it's not mine, but I do find it fascinating. I'm an atheist in the sense that I don't have a belief in a God, though I respect friends and family members and viewers who do. But I am a believer in the sense that I'm a believer in science, and that requires faith. Not necessarily in the same way that religion does, but I have to trust for my religion of science. I have to trust the scientists and textbooks that tell me things. So it is important to question them. So I think it's good, David, that you question it. And while I do believe while science is never wrong, scientists often are wrong. So I respect you, David, for asking questions. And many conspiracy theorists do tend to be right. You look at Watergate, you look at that guy who we're not supposed to mention on YouTube, who had an island doing awful things. So at times, scientists are proved to be wrong. Many different viewers will know that and will be thinking of their own specific examples. My issue here is so many people would have to collude for the Earth to not be spherical. So many people would have to be lying to us, wouldn't they?
Well, no, absolutely not, because we think that's the case. Why aren't all pilots and scientists in on it? And the answer is, well, they're not. They're just good memorizers and regurgitators of the information they were fed. We just released a video, 3 hours long, 27 pilots talking about how the Earth is flat and stationary, and they're not allowed to talk about it or they lose their careers. Okay, so there's astronauts that have whistleblown. There's military people that are whistleblowing. There's military guys that talk about the impossibilities of a curved Earth with their weapon systems, with the way their planes fly. Everyone says, well, there's 500,000 people that work at NASA. I think it's more like 5,000. I don't know the number. I'm not there, but they're lying to you about everything. About it's all lies. And the thing is, people like yourself, we're having a rational conversation. You believe the Earth is a globe because you believe somebody else. It's the appeal to authority fallacy, where you have no proof other than a guy in a bow tie who is a failed comedian told you. Therefore, it has to be true. So let's talk about boats over the horizon. You know how perspective works. The sky is up here, the ground is here, and as it goes into the distance, it comes together. And when it gets to the point where you can't see in between, that's called your horizontal eye zone or horizon, okay? And you could zoom in and bring things back. Here's an example, okay? So out here, you don't see a boat, right? But as I'm zooming in, I'm increasing the angular size. And as I increase it, all of a sudden you'll notice, oh, look, there's a boat right there. It was there the whole time, but you can't see it. Now watch. My finger isn't big enough to hold this boat. If my finger was a wave, it's not enough to hide the boat. But as it goes into distance, these waves take out the boat from the bottom up. It's not disappearing over a ball. It's disappearing outside of your visual limit. And if the water was calmer, you could see farther. But if there's big waves, it'll take out entire city skylines. Okay.
Yeah. I think the thing is, I've got a picture here. Obviously, some people will be just listening on the audio podcast. You just got to believe us. There are pictures coming up on the screen. But there's a picture here. Look, this is how I've seen boats on the horizon disappear. They, as you say, they disappear from the bottom upwards. You could say that's because of a big wave. But a lot of people have seen those boats disappear because they are going over the horizon in the far distance.
Hold that picture up. Bring that picture back. Look at the boat. Those are big waves out there. I don't know if you realize it or not, but those waves could be blocking an entire city behind there. And you're not able, because the ground ramps up to your eye level and the sky comes down to your eye level, those waves are above the ground level for you. If you're standing at the edge of calm water, the water is below your feet. But if there's waves anywhere on that flat water, those waves are above your ground level. And when it comes together, they'll block out entire cities. You can bring it back. So let me show you. Give me a second to pull up. That's not what I wanted. Well, here's actually this is an old one. I forgot about this. So I'm looking across my across my counter, and I have a bottle cap on it. And when I bring it away, it disappears. Now people say, well, the camera is below the counter, and I can prove to you that it's not. It disappears even on this almost perfectly flat surface, because this is how our eyes work, right?
But there are experiments like that with lasers across vast lakes that people can do, just like anyone watching this can go to a huge lake and put a laser. You can hold a stick up at the other end of it.
You've
done that.
We've done it. So on Frozen Lake, we have a red light, a green light, and a blue light. And we had them a couple of miles apart. Like one of them was 3 or 4 miles farther than the other one. And from, I don't know, was it 10 miles away, whatever, we have these all documented where you can see the lights right next to each other. Now, they should be hidden or, below each other, but they're literally right next to each other when you line them all up. And what I'm showing you here is there's waves out here. You can't even see this boat. When we zoom in, the boat is hidden because it's in the water.
It's just tiny because it's so far away, and I get that, but it's not the same as disappearing from the bottom.
You're showing
which
me
is what we
ship.
see.
Look, this boat look, the whole front of the boat's gone. It's hiding behind these waves. Look, it's hiding behind the waves. And as I zoom out,
it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because this is difficult because anyone watching this, you got to go, is it because of the waves or is it because it's disappearing behind the horizon? So I want to hear now your understanding of what flat Earth is, because I'm genuinely intrigued. I want to know, what is flat Earth?
Right. Well, I'm just finishing on this. When you zoom out, the boat literally just blinks out. You can't see it. So that ship you're looking at, if it's over the curve, it's farther than the boat that I'm showing you here. And It's literally because of the surface of the water. There's the waves, and then if it's perfectly smooth, you get a mirage, and it just hides behind the mirage. We'll get into that further. So, what is flat Earth? Right? People think people think that where is it? I'm looking for people think that flat Earth is a disk floating in space, right? Nobody believes that we're a disk floating in space, okay? When you Google flat Earth, YouTube will serve you this. This is from the Flat Earth Society. Nobody believes in the Flat Earth Society except globe believers. They say, I'm going to check on flat Earth. I'm going to Google flat Earth. And then you end up with information from this disinformation site. No flat earther believes we're a disk. No flat earther thinks we're floating in space. No flat earther thinks that water is falling off the edge of the disk, right? So that's not what it is, right? And, then they show you the turn up, right? And that the Earth is rising at 9.8 meters per second. No legitimate flat earther thinks that, all right? We're not a flat planet with other round planets. This is all, you're mixing a fake flat Earth model with a fake heliocentric model, which is a double negative. So what is flat Earth? And the answer is the large bodies of water at rest need containment. Can you agree with that, Andrew?
Say that again.
Large bodies of water at rest need containment. Agreed?
Yes, of course, yeah.
And so a bathtub needs a tub. A lake needs the shoreline of a lake. The world pond, all of the oceans of the world need containment. What holds them in? They're not on a spinning ball in a scientifically impossible space vacuum. They're literally being held in by the shoreline of our gigantic world lake. That shoreline we call Antarctica, all right? So Antarctica is the container of our water. What's out here? What's out here? What's out here? No one's allowed to go out there. You're allowed to go to this little peninsula where there's a base, which is bigger than many countries, okay? But you're not allowed to go out here unguided. You have to, people say, oh, yeah, you can go out there. Look into it. We've looked into it. We've got videos to show you that you actually can't go out there. And now all the people
loads of people have. There are entire bases and countries out in Antarctica.
Yeah. So the entire, when you say entire countries and bases, I agree. The entire countries and bases are, jump all over the place here. Give me a second here. Here it is. We have, this is our map. And we have a base here. These are bases. Nobody goes from this base across the bottom of the ball and shows up at this base. Nobody transverses these bases. They might go from this base to this base, okay? That's about maybe, I don't know how far that is, but it's not that much bigger than if Antarctica
Why does no one go there?
Because this is how the Earth is set up, and it's too far. It's too far, right? No one's allowed to cross over the South Pole. Right, because we can't disturb the ice, can't disturb the penguins. We have to keep the ice pristine, and they're worried about people getting stuck out there. Meanwhile, in Alaska, if you go north and your expedition gets snowed in or something, they'll go, well, you're gonna have to wait till the spring. We're not even gonna try to rescue them because it's just too harsh out there.
But we have been to the South Pole.
Who has? Who told you that? Were you there? Do you have pictures?
But this is it. I can't win. I can't win the debate, David, because everything I say, look, here's a picture of a boat disappearing over the horizon. No, those were just big waves. Oh, but we have been to the South Pole. Here's a few people who have been there. Well, who told you?
Listen, if the Earth was a ball, boats could go over a physical horizon. But a ball requires a set limit of vision before you hit a physical horizon. The anti-globers will now admit that they don't have a physical horizon. Supposed to have a physical horizon. Can you see my mouth? No, because it's behind a physical obstruction. Zooming in doesn't bring it back. But we can see too far. So let me can we go back to the let's finish on the flat Earth, and then let's just talk about the physical limitation of a globe. So in the heliocentric model, the globe model, that you blindly believe in, right? You blindly believe. Say it. I blindly believe in it.
I blindly believe. I hereby pledge allegiance to the ball.
All right. So this is what's going on. We're spinning. Do you know how fast the Earth is spinning at the equator, the globe?
Super fast.
Okay, 1,000 miles an hour. That's faster than the speed of sound. So when you watch the sunset, the sun's not going away just as it appears. We're falling over backwards, right? I'm on the ball, you're the sun, and I'm falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound, Okay, that's what you have to believe.
Yeah.
We're orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. We're chasing the sun at about a half a million miles per hour. Okay, but none of these motions can be measured. None of these motions can be felt. Right?
Yeah.
It's just we're all
But
over
you
the
know,
place.
science is much more complicated than what we can feel and see, because that's what like cavemen and prehistoric people thought. They just went on what they could feel and see, and it's a lot more complicated than that. Look, if the Earth were a basketball that in size, we'd all be 32 nanometers tall. Like you wouldn't even be able to see us. So that 32 nanometer little midget thing on a basketball would not be able to see. It would look flat. Yeah.
So Andrew, this is a pre-programmed thing. I know everything you're going to say, by the way. I could drink a glass of water on an airplane, seasons, sunsets. I know it all. All right, but we're a nanometer on a freaking basketball, but we can watch with our naked eyes and see a boat go over the curve. So which way do you want it? Is it gigantic or is it not?
But those are huge distances, that horizon. But it's very rare in real life that you get to see such a far distance because of hills and because of buildings and
Andrew,
things.
There's the Bolivian salt flats. It's 300 miles. It's perfectly flat. Okay, perfectly flat, no curvature, and 300 miles. The curvature is miles and miles, but it's just flat. What was I going to say? Now I've lost my train of thought. But here, just to give you an idea on the speed, right? We're orbiting. This is the hypersonic sled track. It's going by a Mach 8.6. It's shocking how fast it goes. Your brain can't fathom twice the speed, right? You have to believe that this giant water ball surrounded by air in a space vacuum is going 10 times faster than this in a curved trajectory, speeding up and slowing down around the sun and chasing the sun at 100 times that speed, never to return to where it was before. But then when you go out in nature and use your God-given common sense or your atheistic given God common sense, okay, using your common sense, you see stuff like this. And what does this tell you? Your common sense tells you that this is not moving. Okay, stamp your foot at the edge of that water. It's going to send ripples right across it.
That's why it's so remarkable, David, because your common sense does tell you that. And it's so remarkable because actually we're moving so fast. That's the beauty of it. But when you're on a train going super, super fast, you don't feel that unless you look out the window. You need something to compare it with.
I forgot to throw the train in there with the airplane. When you're going straight and level, okay, straight and perfectly straight and at a constant speed, you kind of don't feel it, but that's not true. Walk towards the front of a train while it's going at a constant speed and walk towards the back of the train and you feel a major difference. Okay. But the train and the airplane are going straight. None of the motions of the earth are straight. They curve, right? The outside of if you're on the equator, you're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Yes, it's only once per day and a clock hand goes half that speed, but that clock hand is going 12 inches in 24 hours when in fact, if you're on the outside of the ball, you're going 1,000 miles an hour and you're going off of your trajectory by over a mile a minute. Okay. You would die.
But it goes back to the basketball, doesn't it? If you were a nanometer tall on a basketball, you wouldn't feel it spin. Like microbes don't fall off of a basketball, do they? They just hang on there. If I had all sorts of microbes that were giving a virus and stuff on a basketball and chucked it at you, you wouldn't be like, oh, I'll just rub that on my face now because the microbes fell off when you threw it to me. They're so infinitesimally small that they don't feel any of these things. They don't fall off. They're not affected by the same things.
We're not microbes. We have mass. We have weight, and centrifugal force will push you. Now think about this. You're on a merry-go-round. It's going around once per day, a regular merry-go-round at a fair. Well, you can barely tell it's moving if you could even tell. Expand it out to 24 miles in circumference. It's going a mile an hour. Hey, that's like a slow walk, right? Now span it out to 2,400 miles. It's going 100 miles an hour, and it's curving. You're holding on to this thing for dear life. Now spread it out to the size of the Earth. It's going 1,000 miles an hour. It's curving off your trajectory faster than a free fall skydiver. I'm sorry if you can't see that.
I know, but we can see that, and we can see that you're right if we think of it in a very basic way, that our forefathers all thought of it that way. But there are several reasons why we don't feel the Earth spinning. One is the constant speed. So on that train you're talking about, it's never going to be exactly constant. It's moving. Yeah, the Earth spins at a consistent speed, just like when you're in a car going at steady speed. But you feel it when you start to brake. You suddenly start moving back and forward. There's the relative motion. We and everything around us moving with the Earth. It's like being inside a moving train, as you say, walking down the aisle. miles, to someone inside the train, it feels like you're just walking straight, but to someone outside, you're moving at the speed. I know you're saying you still feel it. That's because of the slight movements and things, and the size as well on the train. I'm nearly as tall as the train when I'm on the train. The Earth is enormous. It completes one rotation approximately every 24 hours, points on its surface near the equator and moving, as you say, at 1,000 miles an hour due to its vast size. But this means changes in speed of direction across its surface are gradual and not abrupt, making it feel quite smooth. And then you're not even thinking about the atmosphere that contains us, with winds and things like that, and then gravity just keeping us down. There are so many other forces involved that I know what you're saying.
One
does
item
seem
at a
that
time,
way.
man. My answer will take up the rest of the hour to what you just threw out there, and I'm not even going to remember half of what you said. Okay, we'll talk about gravity in a second, but
yes.
we're too small. We're going in a straight line. You don't understand. Every motion of the Earth is curved. Go in a car, drive just 100 miles an hour on the perfectly smooth road. Fill a dinner plate with water to the edge, and then have that car speed up, slow down, or take the slightest turn, just the slightest turn, and all that water's gone. Okay? And that's what the Earth is doing constantly. We're spinning, we're orbiting, speeding up and slowing down, and we're chasing the sun in another curve. We're curving in 3 different directions at once, actually 4, at unfathomable speeds. And they make these speeds so big that you just can't. Your brain goes, "Oh, those numbers are too big. I have to defer to authority, a guy in a lab coat." Yeah. Do you agree? Okay, on a ball, you say it's so big. Do you know that there's 6 feet of curvature at just 3 miles, according to globe math? 6 feet. So a 6 foot tall person standing next to a perfectly calm ocean on a perfectly clear day should not be able to see the surface of that water beyond 3 miles because it's dropped 6 feet and it's just going over faster and faster beyond that. So that's their physical horizon. That water horizon is 3 miles away. Wow. Just 3 miles. Okay. And if you go up higher on a flat Earth, you can see farther because you're increasing your angle of view, right? So here is, I'm going to show you, but looking across water, the air is thick. There's waves. That's an issue. But on top of a mountain, the air is clear and you can see far. Check this out, Andrew. These mountains here, there's 8 of them. They're over 700 miles away. According to your globe math, the tops of these mountains should be over 40 miles behind a physical curve, but we can see them all. Now, you can't say refraction. You can, but it's you don't know what it is. Refraction doesn't bring hidden things from behind a mountain, behind a curve, up and stop at eye level. They're all there. They're all visible, undeniable.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean the Earth is flat, though. It means the Earth is 1,000 times bigger than they tell us, or it's flat.
I'm often having to deal with pictures of people's pictures saying that, Meghan Markle's baby was fake and stuff like that. And those pictures look very good. So this is the problem, is that you and I are arguing over photos. I don't know the full science about the mountains in the distance. But the thing is, even if that's like low, hang on, let me look at that photo then. I have to look down because I've got my teleprompter, which is small at the top. World record proof of our flat Earth, 700 miles. And these are all these peaks really far in the distance. Yep. Yeah, those peaks are clearly like way below wherever you are taking the photo because of the curvature of the Earth.
40 miles of curvature is missing, David. I mean, Andrew, 40 miles. 40
You're thinking about Professor Dave.
No, I'm thinking that, I've defended you saying that, listen, you were just there. You had no idea what was going to happen, and it happened, and I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But we're here.
I don't defend rudeness. Rudeness, but it was I'm just sitting there, and you gave it back as well to him. I thought it was it was just both of you shouting at each other, really, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, he didn't let me get a sentence in, and then, him with his nuh-uhs and stuff. But while we're here, by the way, I have this app. It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It's at flatearthdave.com. But very interesting thing, if you hit the web button and you scroll down, we have this Debunking the Debunkers, and I got somebody's pretty face right on there. And there's one called Flat Earth Dave Humiliates Professor Dave. Please watch that because it's a logical breakdown of what actually happened on the Sean Atwood show, and then make up your own mind. Don't believe anything. Watch it and listen to an intelligent person break down what actually happened. So there you go. Yeah.
It got like 4 million views, didn't it?
On Sean's channel or Dave's pushed algorithmic channel? Algorithmically,
it's all conspiratorial,
channel.
Dave. This can't all be conspiracies. Everyone's out to get us.
Google Flat Earth Dave and Professor Dave and see if you can find Sean's video. See if Sean's video, the original, comes up. No, Professor Dave's come up. Google my name. Google Flat Earth. Google anything with my name or Flat Earth in it, and Professor Dave will come up. Okay.
What's going on let's get on to the next theories. You're obsessed about Professor Dave, and the thing is, that was more of a debate because he's quite sciencey, right? Whereas this is something, as I said at the beginning, you know a lot about. I'm not going to be able to refute everything because I just don't know the science. It's not something I've thought too much about, and I'm pushing back against you, but I'm genuinely intrigued, and I like that there are people out there pushing back against the typical science and things like that, or not science, because I think science is right, but what we've been taught. You shouldn't just take things for granted. However, I still believe that the Earth is spherical. Tell me this, why, do you believe that people have been to the moon?
Do you?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord. We can we do another show on the moon landing? We'll touch on it for a second.
Does the moon exist?
Of course. Well, we see something in the sky, that's for sure. Do you know that?
What do you believe we see?
That we see what I think it looks like a moon. Okay, but what's interesting? You know the submarine, whatever the what is it? Watergate? What's it called?
Yeah, no, that's not Watergate. Yeah, right.
Seagate.
Yes.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, right? Yeah. So let me ask you a question. You're a billionaire, okay? And you say, hey, we're going to put you into a metal box that has no windows, and you're just going to look at a small computer screen, and we're going to go down to the Titanic. Or option 2, you can stay on the ship, have a martini, and watch it on a big screen. Are you going to go in this little thing, right? This thing goes down. Hundreds of engineers from around the world are giving you their expert analysis. This thing goes to the moon 50 years ago, and nobody will give it an analysis from an engineer. Nobody, right? Absolute insanity. Now, right now, India is going to the moon. Okay, this is actual footage from India's moon mission. Andrew, not a trick question, test question.
Is it flat as well?
No, the objects in the sky have nothing to do with the Earth. Okay.
Okay.
Andrew, is this real? Now I could be fooling you. I could have made this myself. I couldn't
tell you. But listen, it wouldn't be very scientific of me, not that I am a scientist, to just see a thing you've shown me and to go, oh, well, that must be what India's showing, and therefore all moon landings are fake.
Is this real? This is the Russian landing on the moon years ago. Is that real? Andrew?
I mean, it could be, or it might be a parody. What do I know? It might not be real, but how do I know that that's even the real footage?
Well, what if you found it on NASA's website? What if you found these pictures on NASA's website where all of the clouds are the same from the Earth for all the different Apollo missions?
I love how deep it goes. And fair play to you. The thing is, what's difficult for me here is, and it's not your fault, it's that I have to deal with this with every conspiracy. We talk about Scientology, then I get a bunch of Scientologists telling me, and they are so well versed in the minutiae of every little aspect of everything about Lord Zeno or whatever it might be. And then the Jehovah's Witnesses get involved, and then the Hasidic Jew, and then it just goes on and on. So I don't know about these photos.
I'm not faith-based. I'm evidence-based. Okay, so here's the NASA tells us this was on the moon. This is the thruster. Now the moon has a lot of dust on it. There's no dust crater. Okay, let's just pretend that doesn't matter, but it does. Okay, and then here is when they left the moon. So my question to you is 1970, when they're using film. Who filmed this? There's 2 guys in here without seats. Now watch, the nozzle is down here. So what's this thing gliding? So it's shot like a shotgun, and then the skeet is coming across where it's going to connect. Okay,
I have no idea.
Well, I know, but you're not thinking. There are orbiters going.
Okay, but I am thinking. I'm thinking, Dave. I'm thinking, in whose interest is it to continue the lie that the Earth is round and that the moon is real?
We're going to answer that at the end. After I show you all the dead bodies, we could speculate on who the murderer is. All right. So just to recap real quick. There's no engine on this. There's a guy orbiting at 2,000 miles above, and they're going to connect, and then they're going to go back to Earth. Okay?
I don't know what that is.
This is the launch of the LEM going back to the orbiter. 3 guys went to the moon. 1 guy stayed on the orbiter, and 2 of them landed on the moon, played golf, drove a dune buggy, and then took off in that thing to meet back up. Okay? So wait, hold on. Yeah. The 1 guy left in orbit. Look at this. This is done on a zero-G plane. All right? He's playing with his paper. Lots of paper in orbit, right? And then watch this. Yeah. He lets it float. Oh, cool. Now look Who's panning up? Who's panning up?
I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do the filming.
Dave, Dave, here we go.
Oh
again.
no, Professor Dave's still on his
Dave.
mind.
You're just Dave for the rest of the show. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever. That is funny. There's a British sitcom where that does happen. The guy keeps getting called Dave, but that's irrelevant to non-Brits.
So,
plenty of people have been to the moon, and again, we shouldn't get bogged down in the moon thing because that's a whole different thing. Yeah, but they've all got a lie. It's just too much lying.
There's not that many. There's only a few people that have gone. They're all Freemasons. Look at the Apollo. Then the 3 Apollo astronauts got back for their press conference. They literally look like someone just shot their dog. Okay, they just went to the moon, played golf, and drove dune buggies. They come back and they're like, "Yes."
These are very serious people.
If you went to the moon, what would you do? Take 100,000 pictures of rocks, or would you point the camera to the Earth? Okay. Never once on the moon did they go look at the Earth. Never once did they say the word Earth. They never said the word Earth. Are you kidding me? When you're coming into your home
if they were acting in a film, and it was all faked, they would also look at the Earth, wouldn't they?
They would say, look at the Earth if they were acting in a film, but they were acting in a deception. I'm going to listen. I want to run you through something.
That doesn't make a difference.
I want to run you through something. And I want you to use
what's underneath the Earth?
The deepest hole ever dug is only 7.8 miles, and they hit an impenetrable barrier. United States and Russia were working on that hole the whole time together, and they couldn't get through it, and they were wrong every step of the way on what they were going to hit next. And then all of a sudden they know the next 4,000 miles. Nobody knows the answer to that. Andrew, I need 2 minutes to run you through something that you can figure out, okay? You're on an airplane, you're a pilot, and you're looking out the front window at these stars. Are these stars above you, or are they on the horizon?
In that picture. Yeah, just anyone listening on audio, there's a picture and the stars are sort of diagonally up from the Earth.
No. The stars in relation to the front window of this airplane. This airplane.
Oh, that plane. I couldn't see the plane. Sorry, it's all small what I'm looking at.
So okay. Are those stars in front of you or are they above you? Easy question.
No, because the easy question is that they're in front of me and you're going to show me that they're not. But I mean,
no, they are. They are. But now the plane is flying from the north to the south, and in front of them is a different area of space. These stars are now above the airplane. Would you agree that would have to happen?
Well, the thing is, Dave, there's so much to the scientific about light refraction and things like that. How the hell am I going to answer that?
Andrew, you're just trying to argue. You're better than this. Okay. The answer is
don't try your ad hominem arguments on me, Dave. I see through them immediately.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
you're better than this, and I want to be better than this, and then I'm going to start believing you.
This is what reality shows. We're cruising from the north to the south, and these stars aren't rising up. Now, if we go on Google Earth on a flight simulator and say, what would we see? This is what Google Earth shows you. They show you the stars as you go over the ball, right? You're looking at a star over here. You go over, and now it's above you. This is what Google Earth says should happen. This is what common sense dictates should happen. But reality shows something completely different. Okay. And the argument you're going to get. All right, go ahead. We'll go.
I think the issue we have here is we're going to have. Firstly, I don't have the science, right? I'm not even qualified to eat a sandwich, right? So. I don't know why.
There you go. Deferring to authority. You don't have the common sense. You don't have the education.
It's not deferring to authority. Hang on. I either defer to authority or I defer to you. Either way, I'm deferring.
No. You can look. We've done the work for you. Then you can go out and verify yourself. You said, I don't trust that picture from the mountain 700 miles away. That's something that you can do. You can't go to space and take a picture of the Earth, but you can go to a mountain like that and go view the Alps or whatever mountains those were yourself. You actually have the ability to do that if you wanted to. Space, a place that nobody can independently verify, is the only evidence that people claim that the Earth is a ball. Run by liars at NASA that pretend that we went to the moon and fake rocket launches all the time. All right? I'm sorry. I don't buy the bullshit.
Yeah. I think the issue is going to be, you're going to be showing me photos. I'm going to be thinking, do I trust those photos? And you're right, I can go out and look myself and all these things, right? But I'm thinking right now, do I trust these photos? Do I have a scientific way to prove they're right or wrong? And I know that a lot of and you're saying defer, okay, and you're right, and it is a kind of faith. But I do have reason to place more trust in Professor Brian Cox than I do,
Oh
with
my
all respect,
Lord.
you.
Oh my, you know what? There's,
What's
you
wrong with
have
Professor
your,
Brian Cox?
I can't just listen to the stuff he says. Everything he says is complete nonsense. Here's the thing. We've done the work for you. Here's the experiments tab on the app, right? And
But he's done
so
the work. I've watched all the documentaries
you watched all the documentaries, right? So
about the
we've done.
beautiful
Hold on, we've
stars.
done. Yes, that's it. That's how they get you. Here are all the experiments. We've done them for you and showed you all the evidence and videoed it and documented it and proved it. And of course, if you don't believe it, you can go out and do it yourself. But most people, after watching these, going, "Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense," and I'm not going to need to redo that.
Right. Let me ask you a few things, because I'm just concerned, particularly for those listening on the audio, I'm concerned about losing them with the sort of scientific stuff. And we're never going to be able to solve that once and for all on here. It's just going to be impossible. I want to get more to the psychological stuff going on here. I want to know, or not the psychological stuff, the conspiratorial stuff. I want to know, who is it that is trying to keep the fact that the world is flat from us, and why?
So this is going to be a hard one for you, because you don't believe in a creator. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't want to.
I used to be you. I didn't believe, or I didn't know. I've kind of had the same answer. But after I did the work and found out that the Earth is intelligently designed, I had no choice but to realize there's a creator. And that's kind of where I let people take their journey relationship with the creator from there. I can prove to you, you walk up to a giant building, a skyscraper, you go, "Who's the architect?" And the person goes, "I don't know." He goes, "Well, then the building doesn't exist." Well, no, the building is intelligently designed. Absolutely. This world is provably intelligently designed. Okay. And the people that are running it, I don't even think the people that we see that are running it, I think they're just the puppets of the real people that may live outside of Antarctica. And yeah, so
I
here,
like
can I
that.
show you? Yeah, can I show you how they hide the Earth? Right.
Yeah.
So, oops, here we go. If we go back to the
This
app
could be a
here,
TV series. It's like
well,
Lost.
it is. So what we're showing that the Earth, this is what basically what we think the Earth looks like. Water's contained, it's flat, it's level. Airplanes fly straight and level over the Earth plane. But what if, and again, this is speculation. I don't have any proof that there's anything beyond the shoreline of Antarctica. Okay. But what if there's more land out here, Andrew? Extra territory? I would call the people that come from there extraterrestrials. Scientifically
Tell you
possible
what,
on a flat Earth. What?
how exciting would that be?
How exciting. Well, they're pulling the whole alien agenda on us. And what they do is they take the flat Earth and they cut it out around Antarctica, and they wrap it around a sphere, and they say, this is where you live, but you're not allowed to explore this white dot at the bottom, or it's at the border all the way around us, right?
Man,
you're not allowed
I gotta
to explore.
say, for the first time, I am seeing why it is so appealing. It's really appealing to believe this, isn't it? And that's part of religious belief as well. It's very appealing to believe, don't worry if things aren't going well in this life, there's another life afterwards. Don't worry, you're going to somewhere else, there's something more.
No,
and the idea that there's like this other bit outside, that's like the TV shows on a cliffhanger and they just break through the wall, and it's very exciting. Can't you see that it is possible that your cognitive biases want you to believe in this?
No, that's just the benefit of understanding where you live, because then you're like, wow, there is more, right? I didn't believe in a creator.
Yeah.
I thought we were nothing. I thought we turned into worm meat afterwards. And I'm pretty sure that there isn't, but that's not the case. I'm very sure. But again, that's not why I got into this. I got into this because I wanted to find out the reality of this world. Andrew, if you didn't have to pay for gas for your car, heat for your house, or air conditioning, would that make you happy? Probably. It'd be pretty cool,
yeah,
right?
I suppose it would.
Yeah.
I suppose
and
it would.
What
Yeah.
if they're hiding free energy? What if they're hiding more land? What if they're hiding technology?
Well, I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
I'm sure some, that's why I don't want to poo-poo all conspiracy theories. I'm sure there are dark, conniving people out there who are hiding things from us. But I also am a strong believer in the sort of, I think, look, one of the reasons that we believe a lot in some conspiracy theories, and we need to believe in it, is because the truth is sometimes much scarier and sadder. Because as scary as it is to believe that there are people out there who are, have malicious intent and are trying to steal things from you, it's even scarier to believe that actually nothing means anything. We're just a bunch of people and nobody knows what they're doing, and nobody in government really knows what they're doing. They're just running around doing random things. That is terrifying. And no one wants to believe that. So I can see. Yeah, I know, because it makes you feel better to think that actually they're out there trying to get you.
In my world, I used to think that the government was here to protect us. I realized the government's here just to push the elite agenda and push Agenda 2030. Research
the government, no, it's not doing either. It's not doing either. They're not here to protect us, and they're not here to push. They're here. They're individual people who make up a government, who are selfish human beings like all of us, and they just want more money.
We agree on something, but there's a bigger agenda above that. Here, let's get back to the science of the globe. On the globe, it's about 11,000 miles around Antarctica. The last person to try to go around Antarctica was Captain Cook. It took him 3.5 years. He went over 68,000 miles. 68,000 miles, right? Antarctica is only 11,000. The equator is only 24,000. 68,000 makes sense on a flat Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, bummer, huh?
I mean, there's so much that doesn't. I didn't want to keep getting bogged down in the science, but one of the main things here is time zones and the sun's shadow and stuff. But I know that you've practiced this as your whole life, or for as long as you've believed in flat Earth. So I know you're going to have answers for these things. But the time zone thing is quite hard to get away from. I mean, it only works if you've got the sun on one side and not on the other, that it's dark on one side and not the other.
Do you know that there's more time zones in the outer south of the equator, than there is in the north of the equator?
Well, because they're social constructs. They're made up.
No. Well, that's a good answer, actually. There should be equal lines from north to south as the Earth spins, and you got your time zones. Okay, but because the Earth is tilted, right? So that it would be in a time zone. You have from top to bottom, everyone has the same time along this line. But the problem is, if I could find the right picture, where is it? So you got your time zones here, but the Earth is tilted. And if it's tilted, there would be different times everywhere. Now you could argue, well, it's an hour and a half here.
Sure.
Newfoundland is this and that, but in reality, the time zones work very, very easily. Let me show you. Okay, the sky is a perfect clock, and when I say that, it is the only perfect clock. The best watch in the world, best timepiece in the world. Guess what? It's basing its time on. It's basing it on the sky clock. So wherever the sun is, and I don't know if you can see this. It's noon where the sun is, from a straight line from the center all the way out along the hour hand. That's where it's noon. So it's noon in Sydney, Australia right now, and it's midnight over here on the east coast of the United States. And so I can wait until the sun goes over an area, like, oh, look, it's right over South Africa, and I can call my friend up and say, where's the sun and what time is it? He goes, it's directly above me. It's noon. And then I could wait until later, and it's over in South America or over Australia, call a person up, and then anybody can do this, and they'll say the sun's right over me and it's noon, right? And so that's how time zones work. Time zones. The sun is the hour hand. It shows the hours and the days, right? If we turn it laps the moon. Watch. Right now you don't see the moon because it's a new moon, but you'll watch. It's getting away from the moon, and the moon will be dragging behind it. It laps the moon every 28, 29 days. So here it comes.
So that explains eclipses.
Yeah, well, yes and no. It definitely has to do with the moon. But you see the moon? So it'll lap it. So the moon keeps track of the weeks and the months. There used to be 28 day months, and with one extra day, one reset day, right? And then if I turn the stars on, where are the stars? If I turn the stars on, the stars are going slightly faster than the sun. So the sun will drift back through each zodiac for about a month, and it takes 365 times around before the stars will lap the sun. Okay? Dave, remember that? Not Dave. There we go. I'm just calling you Dave. The spiral model of the Earth, the heliocentric model, we're traveling 4.4 billion miles a year, never to return to where we were before. But you go out tonight and take a picture of the stars and put a note in your calendar to do the same thing, same place, same time, same day next year. Every single star will be in the exact same place. That's impossible in a heliocentric model. It shows that the stars are fixed in the sky. They never change, right? There's a shaft in the pyramid that looks up at Polaris, but they tell us, oh, no, it used to look at Thuban 2,000 years ago, and it just happens to be looking at Polaris. Well, we had here in the United States, you know about the Georgia Guidestones?
No.
You know about the Georgia Guidestones? It's a monument that was put up in 1981, I think, and it showed if you look through this one hole, Polaris was there, right? But they say Polaris is so far away, it doesn't matter that we're weaving 186,000 miles back and forth on the sun every year, traveling 4.4 billion miles a year. It's so far away, it stays in that hole. That's ridiculous, okay? Right? It's so far away, it stays in that hole. But the problem is the Earth is precessing 1 degree every 76 years. So a half a degree would be half of that. Well, it was up for 40 years and it still hadn't moved. A half a degree would knock it out. It would half a degree, I think, is like 1.5 wisps of the moon or something like that. Okay. It was still there. So you know what they did? They blew it up and they blamed it on a terrorist. Oh, darn it. Just when it's proving the Earth is stationary, they blew it up. And you know what's funny? This is a national monument. It was blown up. Same day, bulldozers were there to knock the rest down to protect the public.
Yeah.
And
all right.
take
Wait.
it all away.
Okay. You've gone too far into the weeds with this one, but let me ask you another one. How does GPS work in your theory?
The ground positioning system is very simple. It's tower to tower. So towers are on the ground, and towers are on the ground, and they literally triangulate from one tower to the other, and that's it. So wherever you are, one tower sends out a signal, and it locates you, and another tower finds you and puts you on a circle, and the third tower finds you and puts you exactly where you are. The problem with GPS is it doesn't work in the middle of the ocean. It doesn't work in the middle of the Amazon. It doesn't work in the Southern Ocean. It doesn't work in Antarctica.
Okay.
Why?
But here's what I think is a key problem with the whole theory for me is it's not using the science. It's going back to the very beginning when I said to you, you've gone blurry, by the way, out of
sorry.
whatever it's happened.
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, but I said to you, the problem with this for me is that too many people would have to be lying to us or whatever. And you said, no, a lot of them are just believing what's told to them from above. But there are plenty of people involved in the manufacturing of things like GPS that involve, as far as they know, the people constructing it, at least 24 satellites orbiting Earth, satellites distributed in such a way that any given time from any point on Earth, at least 4 of them should be visible in the sky. That's how they've set up GPS to work. So it's not just like the government who are trying to hide God from us or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
It would also have to be all the people involved in the manufacturing of GPS. It would have to be all the people involved in countless other kinds of navigational systems.
Wrong. Absolutely not. So people, when the Apollo missions went off, they had like 2,000 or a ridiculous number of companies that were all making different parts. So everybody could say, my grandfather worked on it. I sent the hinge, I sent the seat, I sent the dial, I sent the door lock, right? The NASA, they never started going to space. This people that build satellites send them to NASA. NASA says they put them up in space. In reality, they're using balloons and aircraft as satellites, right? NASA is the largest consumer of helium in the world. They actually own all of the major helium companies in the world. And they admit that they put up thousands of balloons, some of them bigger than football stadiums, okay, that carry 8,000-pound satellites. They're putting them up all the time. And they're using the satellites and a mesh network of the airplanes to create the GPS that you need or for the communications. But I think that most of the GPS is done with ground towers. People go, what about my cell phone? 99% of the world communications are done with undersea cables, okay, and towers. People that work for satellite companies that set up the dishes. I just interviewed a dish pro, a guy that does works on the towers. He says they never point them up at the sky. They always point them at the horizon. They always point them at the closest tower. They're pointing them sideways. Right. Okay.
So just anything that uses anything like satellite, not cable, but like sky, like television, phone, all these things, you're suggesting is so compartmentalized that there are sort of these 100%. Evil, nefarious people at the top, and they're not letting. I mean, it's just in every country around the world. Because remember, there is a habit among some, not most, but some American people to feel like they are the only thing in the world. So a lot of the time, these things are very American based. Do you not think there would be some government around the world who would say, hang on a minute.
They're
Like,
all
let's
in
tell
on
our
it
people that's
together.
not true.
All the
Every
governments
country
are
in the
working.
world, the countries that are renowned for not getting on with one another, hating each
They're
other, blowing one
renowned
another up.
for it. And you know what they do when they get into conflicts? They go to the theater of war. It's amazing. Okay. And they get
Oh,
order followers to kill other order followers. The Cold War, America and Russia, guess how many people died? Zero. Guess how many battles there were? Zero. Okay. It's
Dave.
all, yes. There you go. I'm telling you, I got it.
What are you talking about? I mean, it's just a total misunderstanding of how the Cold War works, and it's not zero because people died just from the Red Scare, McCarthy era. People died in their own countries because of that. People died who were spies who were caught. So it's not zero, is it? And it wasn't a war fought on the ground. You know that.
You were started with GPS and satellites, and here's them launching a satellite. This is what's done. Okay, they launched
Yeah.
2,000 weather balloons every single day to chart the worldwide weather. 2,000 every single day from 1,000 locations across the earth. They all launch at the exact same time, twice a day. Okay, and that's how they chart out all the weather. It's not done with satellites; it's done with balloons. And once you see the balloon programs, you can't deny it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm not going to be able to beat you on the science because I don't know
Well,
enough about it. I think I've got you on just the philosophical part of it. It just doesn't work. There are 7-8 billion people on this planet. There are
that's
too
another
many
lie.
who.
That's another lie. There's not 7 or 8 billion.
Well, you're right.
People on
I
this
take
earth.
that in faith. You're right. I take that in faith. How large
Everything
is?
you're putting out is in faith. And the thing is, most people that fight the flat Earth are they're just believing what they were taught in school, what they were indoctrinated to believe. Okay.
Why?
So
Why? Okay, let's say you're right about this, and I have no real. I'm not somebody who has the kind of ego where I've got to like win and beat someone. What's the point? Let's say you're right. Like, why is it important to you? And I do understand that truth is important, but tell me why else it's important specifically to you, not to flat earthers in general. What is this to you?
well, once you break the heliocentric spell, your thoughts create your world. You realize that everything in your life is because of the way you think. The good things, the bad things are attracted to you because you're thinking about them, and you're bringing those things into your life. The biggest conspiracy in the world is that the universe is conspiring to deliver you every one of your thoughts. So everything in your life is your fault. Period. Okay, I believe that, and it's kind of provable, right? And so
Yeah.
if your thoughts are contained right? In a heliocentric world where we're going to get hit by an asteroid, a nuclear bomb's going to blow us up. Wars, countries are fighting with each other. We're running out of food. We're running out of water. If you're living in fear, you lose your power, right? We're in a
Okay.
spiritual war. I know that you don't believe that, but it's a war that the elite believe in. Okay, they're really evil people, and once you break that and unplug, you stop feeding the system. And I don't believe that anybody can stop you. And, nobody's allowed to take away your natural law rights. Careful how I say that with you. Okay. No one's allowed to take it away, but you're allowed to give it away. You're allowed to give it away. People can trick you. And if you don't pay attention and realize what this world really is, you give away much of your life. Most people in this world work 9 to 5 at best. Okay, they come home, they eat, they watch Netflix, they watch HBO, they go to a sports game, they drink, and then they start the week over again. And then when they're too old to enjoy anything, they got a little bit of money, they retire and die. Okay, that's not what life is. That's not what life is.
So can I just say, I respect that, okay, and I do. I respect you. I think I should respect everybody I speak to. Why not? And you're a nice man. I would just say what you've said. I mean, I don't know much about the science of flat Earth. I do know about the science and the dynamics of cult think and conspiratorial think and those kinds of things. And we are all engaged in them, all of us. None of us are free of this. I'm not suggesting this is something that is part of your mind and not my own. But what you've just told me is what is very common in cults. So in Scientology, they call it you pulled it in. It means everything is your fault that happens to you. The idea is they're selling you this dream that even though it seems harsh on the surface, like, hey, we're going to blame you for everything, they're also telling you you're actually in control. You can control things. And there is no human emotion that is more disturbing, in my opinion, than feeling out of control.
That sounds a little culty, but Andrew, you planned on having this this conversation, and you made it happen. You pulled it into your life, right? You've created your reality. You build your life. The problem is people
I don't
don't
mean
like
to
to.
suggest that that's I don't mean to suggest that's not true at all. And like there's a lot of controversy around people like Jordan Peterson, for example, because he's always saying, well, you gotta make your bed. And I actually think that's really good advice. But I'm also a firm believer in everything in moderation. So yes, sometimes you are in control of things more than you thought you were. And I think that's very good advice for a huge group of people in the world. They need to hear that and feel more empowered to take control of their lives. But unfortunately, it is my belief, and my belief might be wrong, but it is my belief that there are things in this world that are beyond our control. And it's really scary. And it's scary for everyone watching and both of us right now that we go to bed. We finish this conversation. People go, okay, this was fun. This person was on this side. I was on that side. And then we go to bed and we close our eyes and we feel very alone and very scared and sad and dark. And you worry about time running out and what might happen to you after and all the mysteries of the universe. And that's hard. And so the human mind invents a story.
Well, you invented a story that you live on a scientifically impossible ball. Let's talk about high pressure next to low pressure. You okay with that? Or is that above your pay grade?
You know what I should do? I think I should get some super chats, but I just wanted to sort of get my philosophical part of this, the psychological part in, because I do think you're right. I might have invented a story about a ball and all these things, but it's not a comforting thought. So my biases have not led me to think that.
Yes. Well, but that's what we've been indoctrinated into believe. Before we can talk, you had mobile over your head and like your crib probably with planets on it, and Sesame Street and all the kids programs. They all have astronauts on it. It's all indoctrination. It's to get you to literally disconnect from who you truly are. Right? Any super chats come in with questions? Let's read them. That would be great.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. I would just finish with but your version of it is very comforting, and I think it's very human to go with that. And even when you're describing,
wait a minute, hold on a second. Comforting that the elite are out to enslave us and keep us, in a spiritual. That's not comforting.
It is, because it implies that if you just got rid of that elite, there'd be some sort of either an afterlife, an all-loving creator, more resources. All we have to do, don't be worried when you're going to sleep about the loneliness of it all and dying alone. Just think we just need to get rid of that elite.
No.
Now, I don't deny the elite are there. The elite are there. The problem is when you get rid of them, there's also meaninglessness there. And that's sad. And that keeps me up at night. But it doesn't mean I'm going to change my truth. I know you do. But okay, let's go to, and you're welcome to. I welcome all different views on this channel. That is important. Plurality of opinion, because otherwise we do have groupthink.
While the chats are coming in, anybody that's new to me, you can find all my information at flatearthdave.com. My app is there. It's only $3. And there's tons of information. It's the stuff that YouTube is hiding from you. If you don't want to pay the $3, you can spend 500 hours looking for stuff on YouTube and maybe find 2 hours worth of good content. Okay. But the app is $3 and it does a ton of stuff. It's $11 a year if you want to use the friend finder and message other people and get involved that way. But you don't need to do that. Also, there's the crash course on my website. It's free. Just watch those videos. It's scientifically impossible to watch 3 of them and not become a flat earther. So don't watch it if you're not ready to be cut off from your family because you're a flat earther. Okay. And I'm also offering 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. But you have to.
I like that you approach this with humor, Dave. And that's something I do like. I usually sit there going, make sure you check out my guest thing. And I don't believe in flat Earth. However, give Dave the time of day. Go and have a look and disprove it if you want to. Do go to his website. And if you end up giving him some money, it's only a few dollars. It's not going to change. And then you can check out his stuff, and then you can tell him it's all complete nonsense, and then try and get a refund or something. Right? Send in your super chats, because that's all I'm probably going to be able to read, because there's never been so many comments on a thing. And I go to a different column here, and I can see a super chat. Here's one from Lena in Love. So, David, accusingly, and rightly so. What about polar night / midnight when the sun doesn't rise / set for 1 to 3 months, depending on what parallel you're at? Explain it, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So day and night. If you look here on the app. So the sun migrates in between the 2 tropics. The inner one is the Tropic of Cancer, and the outer one is the Tropic of Capricorn. In the summer, let me get to the summer. So we go to March, April, May, June. So in June, the sun goes all the way in here. Now, if you're in the inner north, the sun is getting very close to you, and it stays close to you. So you have your a 24-hour sun in the inner north. And then 6 months later, the sun moves out to the Tropic of Capricorn, and it never gets close enough to Alaska or Norway to rise for like a month or so or longer, right? It's never close enough because it's so far away, it never rises. There's your polar night. Here's the problem. You should have the exact opposite, 24 hours a day and 24 hours a night in the south, but it doesn't happen. And we've proven it by all of the stations reporting with their cams. And there is 24 hours of no light, because when the sun is on the Tropic of Cancer, it never gets close enough to Antarctica to light it. But when it's out here, Antarctica still gets dark. It should never get dark. It should be 24 hours of sun. But it should be 24 hours.
It just seems like such a convoluted thing, Dave, for a creator who's just made a flat Earth for us. Why is he doing all this fiddling about with suns and dials and things?
Well, why would the creator create a speck of dust flying through an infinite universe with air on the outside adjacent to a void, which defies all of the creator's physics? I mean, you want to talk about convoluted?
I don't think a creator did.
Yeah, so you think nothing? This is a cool story, right? Nothing exploded and became everything. Okay, boom, nothing. We'll give you that. It became everything, and then somehow, gas violently fills the space the available space. But for some reason, if you get enough gas in space, it collapses upon each other and becomes a nuclear furnace, leaving a void of no pressure in between. So gas collapses on itself and then becomes this huge gravitational monster that burns. The sun burns like 600 billion tons of energy of fuel like every minute or something ridiculous like that. But for billions of years, it's kept its gravity the same. Okay.
Yeah.
What
Dave,
is going on there?
We keep getting back to the same thing. You don't want to believe things that suggest nothing was in the control of a creator. It's difficult to believe that. Right, I've got a next question. Right. Nechama Gluk. What might be and there's another question I'm going to pop in a second, but thank you for the super chat. What might be the motivation to uphold such a large-scale alleged lie? Who would benefit and how? Seems like a lot of work for what gain? And I'll just say there's another similar question. Demetra, thank you as well. What is profit motive to lie about Earth's shape?
So it's all about controlling the people. If you, it's not the shape that matters; it's your position in the Earth. They're hiding more resources.
Sounds
they're
like a
hiding
euphemism.
more land. Yeah, they're hiding more. They're hiding more resources, more land. You're hiding your true, divinity. They're hiding your true power. They're hiding who you really are, and they're keeping you a slave. Like, hey, you know what? When there's tyranny, people are like, you know what? I'm getting out of here. I'm going to Mexico, right? Well, what if there was 100 other continents, or 1,000 other continents, or 1,000,000 other continents that you could go to? We'd be out of here in a second. They'd lose control. So they put an invisible fence around us. That invisible fence is is the globe. The globe is an invisible fence.
You know what, Dave? When you showed me that on the thing, it actually got me excited because it's such an exciting theory. But that's exactly why I don't want to believe, or I don't think I can believe in it, because I know my own biases too well. And I want to believe that actually Antarctica is just one thing. And if you get beyond it, there are all these secret extra continents with different resources and a creator. How exciting is that?
I don't know if that's true. But think about this. Imagine we lived a while ago and there's only boats. There's no airplanes. There's no radios. There's no telephones. There's nothing. And the educator said, you know what? I'm just going to draw a circle around here. United States, a little bit of South America, a little bit of Canada. And we say, okay, this is what we're going to tell people. We're going to say, hey, there's nothing else. We're going to wrap it around a ball. We're going to say, this is where you live, and there's nothing else. And if you go more than 100 miles offshore, you'll be turned around by the military. And you can't explore this white dot down here. Okay, this is all there is. We wouldn't know that the UK existed, or Australia, or Africa. Okay, this would be our entire world. What if, this is a huge what if. Look at this. Watch the screen carefully. What if we lived in the center of this pond? Okay, these are all other ponds, pieces of the plane, planets, if you will. And they did the same thing. They cut it out. They wrapped it around a sphere. I'm not saying this is real. I'm just saying, what if? And they said, this is where you live. You're not allowed to explore. Do you know what this is?
That is sort of what's the truth is. I mean, we are in a sort of suburb of the Milky Way.
This is a prison for your mind. A prison for your mind. Okay, you're literally in a prison if you don't understand, where we truly live. And
but except you can escape it.
I don't know.
Go to the moon. You can escape it and go to the moon. And also, plenty of people over the years have traveled around the world. Plenty of people have traveled around the world.
Okay. Now, since that brings up, you got to give me a full 60 seconds on this one. Okay.
No, because I got questions to get to.
No, that's all right.
Okay.
Circumnavigation. Pay attention. You ready? Okay. Here's my
Quickly.
You got to watch. Here's my northern center. My compass. What? You're not watching, Andrew.
I am. No, I'm looking at my lower screen.
So the compass is pointing towards the center. I am pushing this compass west. West is a circle around the center. Okay. This is circumnavigating the world. I could do the same thing and go east. If I go east, the compass is always pointing to the center. East is a circle. This does not prove.
But east is meaningless on a flat Earth. It's just right and left and up and down.
No, it's not. It's not. Look, the magnet's here. Get a magnet, put a compass next to it, and try to push it east. You're going to draw a circle.
Oh, the magnet's hidden in the creator left in the north.
Is the North Pole. It's the black rock.
Why did the creator leave a magnet in the North Pole?
That's how this place works. So
I like it. Right.
Here's the problem.
I've got more questions.
Hold on. Billions of people have circumnavigated east and west. 0 have gone south. Right? If I try to go straight, I'm going south. Okay? Billions of people. No one has done it south because the Earth is flat. Go. Sorry.
You wouldn't if you were going to circumnavigate the globe, you would not go south and north because it's freezing cold and you'd get into ice and it would be impossible and you'd probably die.
No one's ever flown that. No one's even flown it. You can't go south. You can't go south. That's what they want you to believe.
Right. Okay? Next question. Right. Firstly, thank you to Daniel Gruick for the sticker thing. Thank you to Polly J. We've got a question from Bobo Gil Dabrun, who just says, Mactoon and FTFE already showed Dave to be oh, sorry. I feel sorry you have to deal with this guy. What'd you say to that, Dave?
Those are what we call anti-flat earthers. They're either paid or possessed. It doesn't matter. All their stuff has been debunked. And even when we show them something like they say you can squish a horizon and it's curved, and we showed them how that's false, they still won't back down. They're the actual clowns. Go ahead.
Well, look, I apologize, Dave. I do have to read them out if people paid though. So if someone
take them all, I don't mind.
If someone wants to pay to say something horrible about me, I will read it out. I assure you.
Yes.
Let's see. Anson Howard says you can only see how silly heliocentrism is from the outside. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, hold on again. You cut out of my earphones. What did it say? You can only see how silly
heliocentrism is from the outside. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It certainly is.
There you go. It's one of yours.
Or somebody that just converted during the show.
Quake Girl NZ says, why is the moon upside down under, presumably in Australia and New Zealand?
Okay, we've been easy short one. Andrew, you and I are in a room. We're at opposite ends of the room facing each other. I draw a 6 on the ceiling. What do you see?
Right, so you draw a 6 on...
I'm looking at a 6. What are you looking at?
You said 6. I think a 9.
Yeah, absolutely. If I drew an arrow that was pointing towards you, the arrow is pointing away from me towards you. Somebody on the side of the room sees an arrow going to the left. Someone on the other side of the room sees an arrow going to the right. That must mean that that my room is a sphere, right? Okay. You've been programmed into believe that it's upside down because you're upside down, when the truth is you're looking at it on the ceiling and you're looking at it from opposite sides. That's why it's upside down.
And the moon's somewhere in the middle.
On my channel, DITRH stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. You can find it at flatearthdave.com. Go, just search my channel for the shill in the moon. Great video. 2 minutes long. Shill in the moon. Go.
Get that. Next one. Easy B. Who controls the weather in flat Earth? Are the weather forecasters in on the secret?
No, the weather forecasters, as I told you before, there's 1,000 locations around the Earth that put up weather balloons twice every single day. So that's 2,000 balloons a day that take weather readings, and then it all feeds into one supercomputer, and then it tells you that what their weather's doing. I'm showing right here on the app. These pink and white lines here, these are like 200-300 mile an hour winds, and then there's counter rotating winds here. And this is just at one altitude. You go to different altitudes, you have all these weathers. That's how, when you're on an airplane and you have a connection to make and the plane takes off 30 minutes late, somehow it lands at the right time. Because they're like, you know what? We need to make up time. We're going to put this guy in this tailwind and we're going to send him over here. And they sort it out because of these 2,000 weather balloons every single day. So that's who does the weather on flat Earth.
Who puts the 2,000 weather balloons up?
National Atmospheric Administration. I'm not sure of the organization, but you can look it up. public knowledge.
Of every country in the world, all colluding.
There's 1,000 spaces equally spread out across the Earth, and they all coordinate the balloon launches at the exact same time, twice every single day.
So where are these balloons, though? If there's a flat Earth, like what is just above us?
What's above us? The question is, I think the highest we've ever gone is like 76 miles, maybe. You know, the balloons seem to cap out at 120,000 feet. The Go Fast rocket shot up and it seemed to hit something at I think it was 72 miles. It seemed to like hit into a plasma or something. You know about the Go Fast rocket?
Wall.
Well, not a wall, because if it hit a wall, it would have shattered. Oops, that's not what I want to show.
Is Elon Musk in on all of this?
Oh, Elon Musk. If I take the time and show you one of his launches, you'll see that it's fake, or you probably won't. But
so he's just faking it.
Well, I don't know whether he knows or not. That's another question. But here's the Go Fast rocket, shoots straight up. And then at 72 miles, it goes kerplunk, and then it's floating kind of weird. And you could argue all day, why did it stop spinning? Why did it stop going forward? Why did it do that? But let me just jump forward here. It's doing this weird little float. But when it turns on its side, there goes the first stage. And it does this weird thing. It turns on its side, and all of a sudden you see the moon. Okay? So look, here's the moon, this dot right here. We zoom in on it. We can see this moon, pretty flat horizon, right? And the funny thing is, this was done in Arizona. And so Arizona is right over here. And it's literally, if the Earth was a basketball, it was a millimeter above the basketball. And the moon was over here below the basketball. How do we see it? Earth is flat. That's how we saw it. Good.
Could be the refraction of light.
Refraction of light just brings some. You're just throwing words out there like a clown.
But isn't that what the Aurora Borealis is?
The Aurora Borealis is the electro from the magnet, the Rupus nigra, that's the black rock of the center of the Earth. There's a magnetic field. We live in this toroidal field, and when it mixes with the gases and ionization, it creates this northern lights and southern lights also. It just has to do with the toroidal field that we live in.
You know what? I would love for you to be right, because I would love that. I would love there to be a creator. Right.
Come over. Come and listen more. You know, on my app, go to every day. There's a daily video, and all I tell people is just watch the daily video each day. Short videos while you're having your breakfast. Click that, watch it. At the end of 2 weeks, you're going to be a flat earther. Okay, period.
Professor Dave was saying that you're in it for the money. I don't think you are. I think you're a true believer, like Tom Cruise and Scientology.
Well, it's not a believer. Belief is the enemy of knowing. Okay, knowing it matters. Okay, you believe I live in the United States. But you should always
be wary of people saying they know. I don't think that's.
I don't know.
You said you were 100% the Earth is flat.
I'm 100% that the Earth is a level stationary plane. But I am.
See, I know I can't.
Information.
I know why I can't beat you on the science, and you know it. You know this is a slam dunk because I don't know about the science, but I think I can beat you on the psychology and the cult knowledge there.
Oh,
and
you
I think I'm catching you out because you're saying that you know, and then you shouldn't know. Yeah,
the
dude asks, how does the sun follow the circular trajectory?
Say that again.
How does the sun
follow the
trajectory?
Circular?
Yes.
Well, if you know what the analemma is if you take a picture of the sun every day at noon, it creates this lopsided figure eight, a shorter, smaller one in the north because the sun's going smaller in a smaller circle, and a bigger one in the south. What is causing that to go around? I think it has to do with the toroidal field, and it's just an aberration or a point of energy inside that torus field. Again. We're not making claims of what the sun is. You guys are making claims. It's 186,000 miles wide. It's 93 million miles away. It's a burning ball of gas in a scientifically impossible space vacuum, right? The whole Big Bang, we didn't even finish the story because it was even too ridiculous for you, okay? Gas balls collapsing upon themselves.
The issue with the Big Bang, again, is a psychological one for you because I think you struggle with uncertainties and unknowns. And any good scientist, I think, knows that there's so much we don't know. That's why I think you coming into this going, I'm 100% the Earth is flat. I think that is proof that, I mean, you could still be right. That doesn't mean you're wrong. But it's proof that you might be ideologically driven.
Well, you know what? I say because I've been doing this for a long time, trying to disprove flat Earth. Trying to disprove it, and the more I go, the deeper, the worse it gets. There's only fallacious arguments. Look, This people are not, if flat Earth was fake, a scientist, some guy would have come out and said, no, you're wrong. Look, here's proof of the globe. If the Earth is a physical globe, there would be physical proof. There is none. These are the flat earthers that have my app. Look at them. Look at them. These are people that are awake.
Those are the people having a look going, God, I can't believe this guy really believes in this stuff.
No, they're not. Stop it.
Well, the fact that they're searching is not evidence they agree with you. And even if they did, people used to be stupid. People used to believe back in Galileo time, people believed, the Earth was flat.
No,
that's how stupid people are.
Hold on. People believed the Earth was flat until the mid-1900s. Okay? They only started teaching globe Earth in the mid-1900s. It's all, they're lying about everything. Go check out my interview on DITRH, my interview with Ruth, a 102-year-old woman back in 2020, and she said she was taught flat Earth in public school when she was a kid.
That's evidence if you ever need it, Ruth.
Well, no, it's good.
What's underneath the dinner plate we live on?
So
says Lord Charfield. Thank you, Lord Charfield.
So the deepest hole ever dug, as I said, is 7.8 miles. So if we had a Macintosh apple, that drill went not even halfway through the skin of the apple. While they were drilling, they were saying, okay, there's no more rocks. They hit more rocks. Okay, there's no more water. They hit more water. Okay, they were wrong every step of the way with their ground penetrating radar. Then they hit a barrier. They couldn't get through it. They tried it for years. They tried blowing it up. They tried everything. They could not do it. It would not go through the barrier. So they gave up. But then they know what the next 4,000 miles is. In your world, okay, they were wrong on guessing what was in the skin. But in your world, they know what's at the center. And guess what's at the center? A liquid magnet. Do you know what the Curie point is?
The heat of the sun, isn't it? The heat of the surface of the sun.
So they tell us it's a molten magnetic core. So this is how dumb they think we are, right? Every magnet, no matter what kind it is, if you heat it, before it melts, it hits what's called the Curie point. And that's where it loses all its magnetism. There's no such thing as a liquid magnet, a molten magnet. Okay?
The Curie point, you say?
It's called the Curie point. Okay? Magnets, you can't have a molten magnet. It loses all its magnetism. But somehow we got one in the middle, and somehow we know it when we couldn't guess what was in the skin as we were actually physically drilling through it, but we could just know what's in the center. Because if it's not, the entire heliocentric model falls apart, which it already has. But people cling onto it, like you, okay? Clinging onto this. Absolute insanity.
It's just too complicated, Dave. That's the thing.
You're right. The heliocentric model is way too complicated. It's ridiculous. Flat Earth is simple. It's simple.
I know. I think you've just proved my point, David.
What?
It's simple, and it means that we get to, if we believe in it, we get to feel really clever, and we get to feel cleverer than all the clever people at school who made fun of us when we were younger.
Before this. Are you kidding me? I was way clever. Now I don't talk to my brother and sister. I lost friends. Okay.
Fuck me.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you should get on with them. You should get on with them. Screw ideologies. Don't let them tear families apart. That's the main thing. Go and call your siblings after this.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Will you?
No.
Nah.
They'll come around eventually. They'll come around. We have nothing.
Red Tar for me. Thank you for the super chat. Red Tar for me says, Dave, please explain volcano eruption in Maui.
Yeah. So there's a thing called lava tubes, and lava tubes are these energy. There's electrical energy going through the earth, and it creates these lava tubes. Now, again, impenetrable barrier that they couldn't drill through. I don't know how lava's getting through it. Okay. There is lava underneath the earth. What is it? I don't know. Is it, is the earth living? Is it, I don't know. But there's lava tubes, and that's why we get these tunnels, and then they break through the surface sometimes, and they just flow out. We don't see lava, coming out of the top of these cone-shaped mountains very often. We just see these lava tubes. And
all the geologists in the world also... Are the geologists who believe volcanoes are something different, are they in on this conspiracy as well?
Well, I don't know the story on volcanoes. I just know that there are lava tubes, and that makes a lot of sense to me. It's just like not coming from the core of the earth.
This doesn't, it doesn't mean you're not intelligent if you're wrong about this. I mean, a lot of more intelligent people often do go down these because you're smart enough to be able to convince yourself of a lot of these things and to fill in the holes and things. And there's a great example of Arthur Conan Doyle, the guy who wrote Sherlock Holmes, and he's the master of deduction, super smart guy, and he believed in fairies, right? Because he saw a prank with some fairies. These girls had put up pictures of fairies, similar to what we're doing now with all the pictures, and he was able to even look at, like, okay, where the pin is holding up the poster of the fairy, that means it's a belly button, which means that fairies give birth. He was really, he went down this kind of thing with fairies, but you don't believe in fairies. But the point is, really smart people can go down these routes. I don't mean to suggest at any point, if I don't agree with you, that I think it's because you're not smart.
That's fine. I mean, here's the thing: we're holding the globe to the physical science. I'm not looking up at the lights in the sky, making assumptions about them and saying, oh, because this star, is this brightness. I'm not saying any of that because we don't know what the stars are. They're certainly
but
not.
You are making an assumption that you're smarter than 99.9% of scientists in the world.
No, I'm not. There are people that are just, there's information that you don't know. Doesn't mean you're dumb. It means you're ignorant, not dumb. Okay, they're ignorant to stuff because they've been brainwashed, and they've been brainwashed not to look further. This is a topic. You mentioned flat Earth to somebody, they don't even look. When flat Earth was mentioned to me, I wouldn't watch a 1 minute video because it's retarded. I'm not doing it. Right? And then I was forced to look, and I went in to prove it wrong. I didn't go in to find the truth. I went in to prove flat Earth was wrong and prove the globe.
I got another question.
There's no proof of the globe. Go.
Nechama Gluck says, is flat Earth versus globe Earth the blue dress / gold dress dilemma all over? We're all looking at the same thing, but perceive something different.
Well, that's an interesting thing. But the thing is, we have the blue dress, globe dress is a perception of sight, but we can physically measure the Earth to be flat. We've done it with lasers. We've done it with mirror flashes. Let me ask you a question. If I had, I always need to bring a mirror. I got a light over there. I could flash the light into the camera, and you would see it, right? I'm flashing the light. Yeah. I got a mirror in my hand. I'm flashing it, and I'm shooting it into the camera. But if I put a book in between me, you wouldn't be able to see the mirror because there's a book in between, right? You wouldn't be able to see me flashing you, right? According to globe math, there's 66 feet of curvature over 10 miles. We've done mirror flashes farther than that, and people can see the flash of the mirror of the sun. Right, the sun's going down behind me. Someone flashes at me. I see it right across the water. There should be 66 feet of Earth curve in between me, but I can see it. You can't claim refraction because it's a direct line of sight thing. It's not refracting. We can see too far. And once you understand that, you realize that we're not a globe.
Oh, fair enough. Bob O'Gill de Brun says, does Dave know what the phrase "thanks, Bob" means? Could you ask him to explain?
Yeah, 100%. So thanks, Bob means that somebody watched a Netflix hit piece on flat Earth and they use that as their proof. But in the app, if you hit the web button and you go to the Debunking the Debunkers, click that. And the first video on there is literally I made it short, 3-minute video, 4-minute video showing you, whoops. This one right here showing you how they deceived you in that movie. I'm not telling you they deceived you. I'm showing you how they deceived you. So what the Globers do is they just take a comment like that and they go, thanks, Bob. And they say that Bob proved the globe by one comment he made. But meanwhile, we'll do a laser test over a frozen lake. They're like, what was the temperature of the ice? How much snow was there? What was the relative humidity? What day was it? What was they want a million facts. But if somebody goes interesting, then they think that proves Earth curve. It's pathetic. It's more pathetic than the crap that phony fake Professor Dave failed musician guy said. All right.
He's you know what? He shouldn't have been rude to you, but he's actually quite good at music, and I was surprised by that when I saw that after. He was pretty good. Now, Daniel Gruick says, Mage 2 balloon went up 39 kilometers and showed a clear curve on the horizon. It had a non-distorting lens and minimal barrel distortion. Dave, please explain.
So when we look into the distance, we see the same distance. If the weather is clear, we see the same different distance in all directions. Okay. So what do I mean by that? So if we're looking down this hallway, hold on a second. If we're looking down this hallway, This is a curved hallway. So if somebody walked around that corner, you wouldn't be able to see them, right? You could say yes, right? And so we'll flip it around. There's the curvature of the Earth, and you can't zoom in behind them because that's physical curve. You know what? I'm answering the wrong question. The question was, what was the question? I'm sorry. I went off on a sidetrack.
That's all right. The Mage 2 balloon showed a clear curve on the horizon, even with a non-distorting lens and minimal barrel distortion.
Right. Oh, that's what it was. So we see too far. And the thing is, we see in the same distance in all directions. So if I can see 50 miles or 5 miles or whatever in one direction, I see the same distance in all directions. Okay. And when you're looking at the same distance in all directions, that creates a circle. And in your mind, you think it's a sphere. You think it's curvature because you're not seeing a straight line across. Yeah, well, it's not that you're imagining it.
This is the thing. But Dave, whenever there's evidence against you, well, that's just in your mind and blah, 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 the creator. And when there's evidence on your side, it's like, let's get very into the science here. You've got to accept both sides. That's why you can't go into the debate going, I'm 100% sure, because there's nowhere to go from there.
So here's the thing. Here's a person, and he sees the same distance in all directions. So this is how you see. So this is your horizontal eye zone, which is curved. Your mind will tell you that this is a sphere.
Not when you're above the Earth, looking down at it like that.
Same
I don't
thing.
think
You
so.
see farther. You see a curve, and then and he said minimal barrels of distortion. How much do you need? Show me the picture.
Why don't they see a wall at the end? Why don't they see a wall at the end? That's where the secret polar bear people are hiding on the other side.
Because you can't see that far. You can't see forever. You can't see forever. Hey, you were going to ask me about sunsets. You were going to ask me about sunsets. We were going to talk about sunsets.
Here we go. Andy Fabulous says, if the world is flat, there can be no northern lights and the sun would alternate rising from the east and then west. And Lord Xenu really exists.
Go back and listen to what I said before about the northern lights. That's just a blind statement saying there could be no... no, that's just not true.
It's true, though. What is this light that's on a clock? What are you talking about? This creator clock madness. If I was a creator, I'd just make light Earth. Don't worry about how it's done.
You would just make a ball of gas in a vacuum burning 93 million miles away, and we're in the Goldilocks
I would just make it light. I wouldn't need a sun. I would just make it light when they need it, dark when they don't.
In your random universe, everything organizes and becomes more complicated versus the truth is things become more scattered over time. Things don't organize; they disorganize or entropy versus.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Just throwing in the word entropy. That's true. Yeah. Things move. You know who told me that? Professor Brian Cox. That things move towards discord from harmony towards discord. That does happen. But in your world, it's just a sun on a clock floating around and a wall outside which there's like who knows what and the creator that everyone's hiding. Yeah. Okay, well, fair enough. Yes, I want to say thank you to Inside Out for the super chat there. That's very nice of you. It keeps the channel running and all that stuff. Nosferatu the Vampire wants to know, does Dave believe in dimensions? Do we exist in 2D?
No. Flat. We live on a topographical plane, hills and valleys. We live in a three-dimensional world on a level stationary plane. Water, the science of water, proves that. Proves water at rest, large bodies of water at rest, not a drop of water, anything bigger than a gallon of water, lies flat and level, period. No matter how you look at it.
Gluck says, 3 cheers for the polar bear people on the other side of the wall. Freddie Ray says, David, can you be a flat earther and be an atheist?
I don't think so.
It's all about the creator.
But you can be a flat earther and believe in some other intelligent design, but you have to understand that there's a designer. There's a creator.
Which could be, and this is where you had me last time, because I think I do go into this going, I'm 99% sure the Earth is a sphere, whereas you are 100% sure it's flat. I'm going 99, and the reason for that...
99.1%.
All right, fine. The reason for that is because I do believe we could be in a simulation, and I think there is a chance. Yeah, I think there's a chance of that, and then everything you've said could then be plausible. But then anything can, right? Yeah, we're in a simulation. And I think that is the most plausible way in my mind for flat Earth to work. So I am trying to think of a way for it to work for me. I'm not just stubbornly going, no. And then fine. But even in the simulation, I just think, what's the point in having all this fake ball of gas?
You can throw that out there. I believe, the word simulation is a really hot point for people. I believe we're in a physical simulation. Okay, where our eternal souls are inhabiting these avatar meat suits, and we're in this physical simulation because it's so complex, it's so amazing. This place, it has to have a super mind to it, and if the simulation is the right word, I don't know, might be.
Yeah. Got one just now. Richard Method, thank you so much. Will David follow William Shatner and go into space to prove the Earth is flat using Jeff Bezos' rocket program? Might be difficult to get on that program.
Yeah.
Would you go?
Would I go? So would if I offered to get you put into a physically into a South Park cartoon, would you go? Would you go?
I was just saying, no, it's not possible. Yeah, but okay. It's not possible to go to space.
William Shatner floating in space, okay? And
God, you've got it all right there.
Yeah, if you watch this stuff, it's so retarded. Edit, and they're all looking out the windows because we said, why don't they ever look out the windows, right? So they're up there floating. It's absolutely insane. But here's the worst part. So William Shatner, 90-year-old big fat guy, they launch him into space, okay? They launch him into space, and what happens? He comes down, so he's free falling. I don't even believe he's on here. This thing's free falling, right? And then all of a sudden, like, this is definitely not. This is weird. It's not going down. Then it is going down, and then it slams into the ground. Slams. Yeah. Okay. Does that look like it hurts?
Well, I have no idea. I have no idea about the way they manufacture these things.
No matter at a bicycle race, at a swimming race, at a school fair, they always have an ambulance there. They always have EMTs there. No EMTs, no nothing. Just a bunch of people, wives and a photographer.
But again, David, everything that you say here, this is not really, it's just speculation. And every time I can just say to you, look, if they were really intent on faking this and making such a huge thing of it, they would have thought about that, and they would have loads of all these people there.
You could say that.
And also, so William Shatner's in on it as well. I mean,
absolutely.
Come off it. You can't.
William Shatner was broke, and they paid him millions of dollars to do this. And maybe he believes they really go to space, but they're like, you know what? Hey, you're really not in good enough shape. We need the publicity. We're going to fake it, even though we really send people to space. He might be that stupid, but here they are.
And the people who are desperately trying to prove this theory that like flat Earth doesn't exist and all this stuff, and it's the most important thing ever in the world, trusted a man in his 90s that they could just pay him all this money and he would never let it slip. He'd never have a bit of a dozy moment and just let it out.
You know what? I don't know what kind of deals they make. You can make a deal. Hey, what
if
someone
don't.
Came to you and,
exactly.
What if someone said to you and say, here, we got a deal. We're going to give you $10 million, Andrew, in a Swiss bank account. You no taxes. Yeah. It's all yours. Do whatever you want with it. If we ever hear you mention it to anyone, even in a text message, which we're going to be monitoring, you agree to let us torture you and kill you and your children and your family and whatever. Of course, if you sign that deal, you're never going to say anything. So who knows? There's a million ways to control people where they'll never slip. But we did have a military guy on his deathbed made a confession about how they filmed the moon landings and how they faked it. And he did it on his deathbed.
Richard Method has given another super chat. Thank you, Richard. So now William Shatner is in on it. David, you need help, my friend. Oh, no. Okay, it's a me, Mario Rui, says, if FE is true, flat Earth, why can't we use a telescope to see the Eiffel Tower from New York? And what powers your sun to go round and round?
So again, you're asking me to make claims about the sun and the sky when in reality, your gravitational claims are proven incorrect. With the Earth being in this heliocentric system, the reason we can't see the Eiffel Tower is one, it's too small. Two, you can't see it even over the water because the air becomes thick. So
the
air
atmospheric
becomes
pressures of the globe.
Not pressure. It's just the atmosphere itself becomes thick. I'm trying to find a picture as I'm talking to you.
Why did the creator make the atmosphere become thick?
Well, it's just thick. Why not?
It just did, just to make it difficult. Okay.
Well, it's just the way it is. And so here we have these mountains here and here and here and here, and then it just kind of turns into sky. Okay, you can't see forever.
Yeah, because of the curvature of the Earth, probably.
Not because of the curvature of the Earth. On a clear day, you can see farther. And here's the thing: you
can't.
You say I can't see, but then you don't actually do the math and say, "Oh, I'm already seeing farther than I should be able to see. And then the next day it's closer, and the next day it's farther. What is the Earth changing its size? No, it's atmosphere. Okay. What are you going to ask me about the sun
What's
going
keeping
down?
the atmosphere in if it's not gravity?
Well, we're in a contained system of some sort.
Right, yeah.
You can't have air pressure without a container.
Melodic Lyrics says Dave's going to show us the maths on the forces, right? Are you, Dave?
No, I'm
you're
not.
not. No, I didn't think so. Thank you, Melodic Lyrics. And I'll go back to Maria Rui's point about what powers your sun to go round and round. It just sort of does.
Well, I'm not claiming, it is some toroidal field. Whoever set this place up, that's it.
Whoever it was.
There's lots of theories and maths that can prove, if you think math proves anything, that'll tell you how it works, but that's not my forte.
Yeah. Okay. So whenever there's a gap, Dave, it's not your forte and you don't know, and it's just William Shatner's in on it.
But hold on. See, you're actually doing exactly what you're accusing me of. I show you physical proof that we're seeing too far, that there is no curvature. I show you that we can't have atmosphere next to a vacuum. We didn't even get there because we haven't discussed it. But you...
Yeah, but I'm not... You're the one making extraordinary claims, though. I'm not a scientist.
You're making extraordinary claims, and
I'm making mainstream claims.
Authority. You're making mainstream claims. Exactly. You are a religious...
I love the idea of this argument going viral, and instead of swearing and stuff, it's like, no, you're making extraordinary claims. No, you are. It's the politest argument ever.
He's doing this just for the algorithm. He told me before the show that he thinks the Earth might be flat, but he can't admit it. Okay, he's doing it for the algorithm. Right? He's not that stupid. You guys can tell Andrew's a smart guy. Okay, he is a smart guy. He's doing this for the views. Trust me. There he goes.
Would a man who's a flat earther have this in his office?
Yeah, it's a novelty item. It's actually fantastic.
A novelty item. I would have a flat one.
Look, I got one too. I got my ball too.
Imagine that. I would just turn the whole channel into a flat Earth thing if I believed that, wouldn't I? Because it would be very exciting. You wouldn't
get any views. You'd be completely hidden.
More conspiracies. More conspiracies.
You got more super chats.
Have I? Hang on, let's have a look. Brian S. Stavely, thank you, Brian. Andrew, if you're not told by authority figures that the Earth spun and was a ball, would you have ever come to that conclusion? Not in a million years. Not in a minute. You're absolutely right, Brian.
Good one, Brian.
And I did say this early on. I do think it's smart to question these things. I can make it all different colours, this. I think it's smart to question this stuff. And I think we need to do that. And there are loads of conspiracies that turn out to be true, such as Watergate, and such as... Oh, turn blue, you blue thing. Such as that a guy on the island, and there's plenty of them. And we need journalists, and we need people to poke holes in established mainstream theories. But it doesn't mean that every time we do that we're right either. I wouldn't have figured out the Earth is a sphere. I can't even work out how to. Yeah.
But
except really smart scientists have done.
Is it no? They haven't. No one's figured it out. They're just told it. Giddy House Olson says, "How does Dave explain?" I'm reading your super chats for you. How does?
Hang on, let me put him out.
Go ahead.
How does Dave explain that all scientists who have spent all their lives studying this can be so wrong? Well, including William Shatner. All the scientists plus William Shatner and meteorologists and volcano experts and geologists are all either stupid or in on it.
They're all indoctrinated and they believe what they're told. But hold on, right here. Are all space agencies in on the lie, and are all pilots and scientists in on the lie? These two right here, tons. Yeah,
because you've heard this stuff.
Yeah, but they're all explained. Now they're not all in on it, and many of them are speaking out, but they can't. You're a scientist, and you get your couple $100,000, millions of dollars worth of grants. You say the Earth is flat, you're out of work, you're done, your family's homeless. Okay,
or you win a Nobel Prize.
Yeah, well, no, it doesn't work that way. They're not going to give you the Nobel Prize.
Brian S. Stavely again says, we know the answer is no. This is about me. Would I have ever worked out it was a globe? People, thank you for the super chat, Brian. People have lied to you. Conspiracies do exist. Many are BS, but there is something here and it matches all your experience. See, this is it. It's nice to believe in simple things sometimes because it makes us feel comfortable and it makes us feel like everybody knows, there's a creator in charge and we're all going to be fine.
You can make that claim, but some people will go, I'm going to believe in this because it makes me feel good. I'm going to be
Yeah.
spiritual, whatever. No,
Yeah.
I want the truth. I don't care how it makes me feel. Okay.
But your subconscious does care.
No, not at all.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Of course it does.
No.
Well, you're the only one that's not swayed by that. We all want to believe things that are
Listen,
nice.
it would be nice, but I want the truth. The truth is nice. The truth is amazing.
You can't handle the truth. Right, CC,
Sure.
thank you for the super chat. HRH Gossip, thanks for signing up. I imagine you like the stuff on Megan and Harry that I've done here. Richard Method says, last one. Thank you, Richard, again. Andrew, please have on a follower of Benny Hinn or some other preacher. That would be epic. You are being equated to people that are like preachers and nutcases and evangelists. What do you say to that, good sir?
You should have Austin Whitsitt on. He'll do all the math for you. Okay.
Yeah, but I would need then to have a Professor Dave back on, wouldn't I?
Absolutely. Bring Professor Dave on with Austin. Austin would love that on your channel. You be the moderator, and Professor Dave, you could be the neutral moderator. Take Dave's side. Okay. Have Austin on with Professor Dave.
My name's Andrew, not Professor Dave, but yeah, I'll be the neutral. Okay. Well, afterwards, send me an email.
Yes.
Send me an email and we'll set that up and we'll do that and it'll be fantastic.
Bet you $100 Professor Dave will not do it because he will be eviscerated.
Okay. Will you actually send me the $100 because I could do with the cash? And if he does come on with
I will absolutely. You know what? Make it $200. I'll make it $200.
$200 if Professor Dave comes on. Maybe I can share it with him.
Professor Dave comes on with Austin and does a full debate with you moderating.
All right, I'll email him after this.
Than you did with that other thing. What's that?
I'm just going to sit there.
Yeah, that doesn't work so well. Actually, that would work fine, but it would be.
Mario Rui again says, Dave, please explain your concept of a vacuum in space.
My concept of vacuum in space is not a vacuum cleaner. It's not sucking. It's no pressure. Like if I had a box, when I sucked all the air out of it, that's a vacuum. It's a void. It's no pressure. And if I had a valve on it on the bottom, on the side, or on the top, no matter where I opened it, air would violently fill that available space because gas violently fills the available space to equalize. It doesn't collapse upon itself. So I got a box with no air and a valve on the bottom, and I go 10,000 feet, 2 feet, doesn't matter. I open it up. It pulls the air up and away from gravity. Well, I thought gravity was holding the air to the earth. Doesn't make any sense.
There you go. Right. My name is Never Was. I am going through this. I'm going through quicker now. I'm not refuting you. I'm just seeing what other people say. Thank you. My name is Never Was. Andrew, please make yourself some cash by proposing a reality show where flat earthers literally go to the edge of the world, potential name, the edge of the world, to prove it. Just a thought. Love your show. That would be Mr. Beast. I mean, he could do something like that. The funds he has. Would you sign up if Mr. Beast asked you along?
I think Mr. Beast actually was supposed to go. I think it was him or somebody else like him that was supposed to go to Antarctica and do a thing, and they canceled it. They wouldn't let him go.
No, he did go. He did go to Antarctica.
No,
I've seen it.
No, he didn't. I think it was canceled.
No, he went. I've seen him there.
You know what? I don't even know who Mr. Beast is, but I think it was canceled. Doesn't matter. and if they let us go,
no.
They have to
they told you it was cancelled, and you've had faith in that, and you were wrong.
No,
you shouldn't trust what people say. He did it.
I'm saying I don't know.
Okay. Well, he did it. But that's a very good point, and I think that's a great reality show. Rebecca Monroe says, Dave, is it possible that the Earth isn't flat and they did fake the moon landing? Well, for you, you're 100% it is flat.
Well, how about this? I'll go 99% flat, 100% it's not a globe because that's scientifically provable. It could be something else that I'm unaware of. All right. And so just real quick on the frequently asked questions page, there's what about Antarctica? There's a video on there called Sorry, Antarctica is Closed. Watch that. We did the work for you. One of our lawyer flat earthers broke it down and it's going to save you hundreds of thousands of dollars and time and in 30-minute video. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but you were saying to me before we started that you don't really believe in this stuff and you just want to make money from your app.
That's exactly what I said. You're right. Everyone, send me the $3 quick and sign up.
That's payback. That's payback to you for saying that. Right. Red tar for me. Does gravity exist on flat Earth? Your belief?
Well, gravity is a theory, and it's 96% dark matter. Because good thing I didn't offer you $200 in gravity dollars, because I don't have to pay you $8, and the rest could be in dark dollars, or because that's what.
It's another example, Dave, of science not yet being there, not knowing, and it scares you.
Incorrect. Science tells us that the electrostatic force is 10 to the 36 power stronger than gravity, and I could demonstrate the electrostatics makes things go up and down. If you put a negative charge into something, it goes up. Put a positive charge into something, it goes down, because the Earth, it attracts anything in that positive field. So I can show you that. I can prove it. I can demonstrate it. It's repeatable. It's provable. And
All right.
And so how could it be gravity? How could you think that gravity, that tiny weak force, can outdo the electrostatic force?
Yeah, but it's not a tiny weak force. It's a strong force. Right, last question. This is from my
Incorrect.
fiancée, Julieta. Is this, and she's asking everyone else really, is this a harmless conspiracy theory, or is there any danger here? So people, I want you to put a 1 if you believe that flat Earth is the Earth is flat. That's a 1. 2 if you think it's complete nonsense but not harmful. And 3 if you think it is a harmful conspiracy theory. I'm interested in that, and I want to see all the 1s and 2s and 3s. Obviously, there will be more 1s than 2s or 3s, I think, because the 2s and 3s are both suggesting that the flat Earth theory is fake. But I want to know if you think it's harmful or not. And don't even expect me to remember which order. I've just done them all in, because that is already... 3 is harmful. 3 is harmful. 2 is not harmful, but it's just a silly thing. And 1 is, I believe in flat Earth theory. And we are getting a big mixture of stuff, and so it should be. Plurality of opinion, mostly 2s and 3s, and all these things. But there are the occasional 1s from some people, such as Linda Glass, such as Ted Sommer, such as Lauren Okra, and that is fair enough. We need, wow, it is a real mix of those 1, 2s and 3s, which I always like to see. No relationship, my name is never was, should be this exhausting, Andrew. If anyone else is caught up in proving the world is round all night, please find refuge. Well, I think people are enjoying it, aren't they? I don't know. Right, go and look at Flat Earth Dave's stuff and refute it if you want. That's what an open society is. I feel like you want to say something before we get off of here.
Here's the thing. Google is feeding you what they want you to see, and they're hiding what they don't want you to see. Right.
That's
and
true.
The thing is, I was really upset after that show we did with Professor Dave, Professor Dave. And I was like, oh, man, I couldn't get a word out edgewise. And then what happened was it gave me access to people that I wouldn't have access to. People said, hey, Dave, I'm definitely a globe earther. Flat Earth is ridiculous. But why did Professor Dave act like that? They'd email me. I got thousands of emails since then. And that would give me the opportunity to send them a playlist, and I would send them the crash course, and I'd say, here,
join my
cult.
If
you want to know why, watch this. And then a couple days later, a week later, I'd get an email back like, holy crap, this stuff is real. So it's not until you take the time and look in the right place. You can't just go by what Google. So go to my website. It's free, flatearthdave.com. Scroll down to the crash course. Watch those videos. Get the app. There's archive videos there. There's plenty of stuff there that's free. You don't need to spend the $3, but you're going to want to, because it's the app.
Go to Scientology's website. Some of the stuff is free. You can find out all about Flat Earth. Go to Flat Earth Dave's website and his lovely cult. Right. And flatearthdave.com/notacult and find out about all the culty stuff. I'm just kidding, of course. Hit the like on the video. Do go and have a look and be open-minded, because that's what we need to be doing. And we need to be understanding that different people have different views. Some people are utterly wrong. Not going to say who, but it doesn't matter, because we need to have those debates, and that's what's important. Keep watching this show as well. And that's all. That's it. Just keep watching.